Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 289. And god darn it, where's my clicker? Oh, there it is. Oh, here, over here we go. Yeah, action. Alrighty then, Stoned Roadie Nation. Looky here. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie. And as you can see, I used to be a fat bastard, like most of y'all are at the present time. But I lost some of my mental illness that I used to have, and lost 80 pounds. And that's the end of that story, and more to come. And this is my co-pilot, co-host, and the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what are we going to talk about on this Friday, February 21st there, Griff?
Well, I'm not a DEI co-pilot. So that's better than being a DEI co-pilot.
You're not a black woman.
With pink hair. Yeah. And we got some good news and we got some bad news. The bad news first, Craig couldn't find Alan's pedal. But the good news is he found the robe that he got. How'd you get that robe, Craig?
What?
How did you get that robe?
Oh yeah. I'll show the robe here in a minute. I gotta keep this fat bastard picture up for a little bit, and so that'll be the thumbnail on the next podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so I gotta keep the fat bastard thing going here for a.
Well, look how happy you were. See, and I got two comments off of Facebook. One of them said, Craig is looking pretty fat in this last podcast. They said you had a big old barrel belly. There's one person. I was like, I went back and looked at it and I said, yeah, his belly does look fat on that last podcast. And then somebody else was saying that you were looking like you were kind of sad. And I'm thinking you're not eating enough. Because look how happy you are in that picture, Craig. And now you got a frown, and there you were happy. So
well, I was drinking back then now. Yeah, I was an alcoholic back then. I still drink. If you watched the show, a couple weeks ago, I went through a bottle of vodka, and I can do that. I can still go through it. I can still be an alcoholic, and I can still drink a bottle of vodka, and then I can put it down. So it's like the food, I used to be a fat bastard, as you can see, but I can eat anything I want now. I can have banana splits or anything, but I just don't have to have them all the time and look like that fat bastard there. But no, I don't know.
You don't need a drink either. You didn't have a drink today, did you?
No.
You didn't have a drink yesterday, did you?
No, I haven't had a drink since I finished that.
When's the last time you had a banana split?
Oh, I haven't had a banana split for a long time. And I still got some of these Vicodins left. Yeah. That's a rarity where I could keep them things around, and I haven't even went and got any alcohol to wash them things down with. So yeah, my mental illness is better. I'm not cured. I still have mental illness. I'm 74 years old, and I've got mental illness, and so that makes me I'm about a 2, I guess, on the dating scale. I guess because I guess I would be if I was 90, I guess I'd be a 1, but since I'm only 74, I'm a 2, but since I'm mentally ill, that drops me back a notch. So
I don't know. I think you might be a solid 10 over there at the old folks' home, as long as you keep your mouth shut.
oh yeah. Yeah, as soon as I open my mouth, they go, "Oh no, that guy's got problems."
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
womanizing asshole.
yeah. But yeah, I think I'm a solid 2, even at 74. Since I'm not fat or obese. But I got the mental illness,
Yeah.
so you got to take the good with the bad. But whatever.
Well, yeah, I think you do it. As long as you're above the ground and you feel good, and who cares what anybody thinks, man? You know?
Yeah, I don't give a
And
shit
and,
anymore.
and you were associated with Lynyrd Skynyrd, so you kind of have a license to be a radical son of a bitch. And if people want to, all these people say, I wish I could have known. I wish I could have known Ronnie. I wish I could have known Al. I wish I could have hung around Billy, Gary. Well, you guys want to know what they were like? You've got him right here in front of you, man, but you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear the shit that they used to like to talk about. They kept Craig around because he was a radical, crazy bastard, just like they were. And now you want to pick at Craig and change him from a Lynyrd Skynyrd guy to a meek, mild, non-fat shaming little guy that just sits there and goes with the program. That isn't Craig.
Lord knows I can't change. Lord help me, I can't change. No, I ain't gonna change. I'm too old to change. I don't want to change. That's bullshit. I'm in the wrong dimensions. The problem. I'm in the fat dimension. I don't know. I don't need to be in this dimension.
I wonder what I want. Well, we know Gary was watching the podcast there for a little while because he told you
he said he was my most favorite watcher, or my whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he said, tell people I watch you. I think I'm your most favorite watcher. That's what
I bet he was laughing his ass off. He was probably laughing his ass off, going, that
he
dude's
said, I know.
crazy.
He said that's what he said. He said, I'm getting the scuttlebutt that you're hearing that some of us connected with the band don't like what you're doing. He goes, it's not me. He said, I don't care what you say about me. He said, I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. He said,
I think it had to do with that poster, that painting, that canvas of that cigarette pack thing. It started with that, and then they weren't paying you for your movies, and you were
oh,
getting.
there's a whole list of stuff that yeah.
Because when I went and saw Skynyrd in 2019, they were showing your movies up there. You had your movies up. They weren't paying you for that.
I was best friends with all those guys, and then when I left the band, all of a sudden, everything changed. I don't know.
Hey, that's what it is.
Weird.
Craig.
It just seems weird that we were all friends for all those years, and then as soon as I'm not with the band anymore, we're like enemies or something. It's just seems like that's what happened with everybody.
No, that's what it is. When you cut
connected
them off
with the band, and once you're not connected with the band anymore, you're not part of the.
Well, Craig, when you told them they couldn't use your movies anymore, that's when they wouldn't let you in the back
No,
gate.
I told them they'd have to pay me.
Yeah, but you wanted $10,000.
No, they were giving me 200. Well, first they were giving me $75 a show. I said, that's bullshit, man. You guys pay the damn if you use confetti, it costs you 500. You know, it's ridiculous. I said, man, God, my movies are, people watching my movies. I've seen people crying watching my movies. That seems like that's worth more than $75. And I told them I wanted 500 a show, and they told me to go F myself.
That's pocket change, man.
Yeah,
For
I mean
show.
that's bullshit. Yeah.
You probably would have negotiated that if they'd have came back and said,
Well,
"Well, how about?"
they used them for freaking 12 years and didn't give me a nickel. And finally, they started paying me $75, and then they started paid me a couple hundred for a year, and then once I was gone from the band, and they were, using them, and it was part of the show. I said, man, damn confetti's cost you $500 a show. I said, Jiminy Christmas.
When you were working with Skynyrd at the time, back when you were working with them, were they using your movies then?
Yeah, they never paid. They didn't pay me nothing for. God,
Did you ever?
They used my movies for 12 years and never paid me a dime.
Well, see, if you'd have said something to Gary like, "Hey, man, I need some money for those
including
movies."
When I was supposed to make all that money when they made Freebird the movie, I was supposed to make a bunch of money off of royalties, and they conveniently found a way to make Freebird the movie never see a profit. Never. That thing's been shown for 20 some years all over the world, and it's never shown a profit. Something's fishy.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Democratic Party to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like I smell a rat on that one. Well, I mean, like I was going to say, if you'd have told Gary when you were working, if you'd have said, "Hey, Gary, man, I need you guys to go ahead and start
told Gary
paying me
about
for
it.
the
He didn't have
movies."
anything to do with Freebird the movie.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when they were showing your movies during the concerts.
Oh, that's part of management. You have to negotiate with management. You can't. That's why they have managers. So you can't go to the band members and negotiate anything to do with anything like that.
Well, Chuck Flowers tried to get Ronnie to give him a raise, and he went
he
straight to
got
Ronnie.
fired. He didn't get fired. He was told to,
It was Chuck and it was Raymond.
Chuck and Raymond, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was getting at. If you would have just gone straight to Gary and said, "Hey, man, I need some money for those movies," he'd have said, "You're fired, Greg."
I told him a couple of times that was bullshit about what they did to me on them movies.
What did he say about that?
He just handed me the joint.
Oh, yeah?
That's bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit what they're doing with my movies. He goes, hand the joint back to me.
Well, I guess he probably thinks of it along the lines of, Craig, you were probably making those movies during work hours, weren't you, Craig? Were you making those at all? Like, did you ever? Because that's what.
Well,
they tried
no,
to take
a lot of that
on.
stuff, on the bus, and then when you're on the road, I guess you're always working. I mean, I guess you're always working,
but nobody said you couldn't do it. And then if you had not done it,
well, they helped me do it. Heck, all of them picked up the camera and filmed a little bit. But there's the
go get that robe.
There's the robe here. It's right here.
I'd have never guessed it was red.
Well, Look at my green screen there showing up. I I filled in that green screen area, but that part of the green screen's a little bit. Oh, I need to move this stuff. There you go. That green screen's a different shade of green than the other one. Oh boy, look at that. What happened? That's a different shade of green than the other.
So how did you get that robe?
They gave us all these robes. The band got the same robe at the same time. So, here's the back of it.
Yeah, you ought to put it on and sit there in front of the picture of it with having it on.
There's the name. There's my name right there. Where is it?
So how old were you in that picture, Craig?
20. It'd have been 24. Yeah. 24.
And where was it picture taken?
At my apartment at Cedar Cove. Yeah, there's my name.
Did you write that name and then they copied it, embroidered it, or did they just do it? They just did it on their own? Because that looks just like your signature. Don't it?
Well, I have a hard time with this.
That's kind of like the same word or lettering that's on the jackets too, isn't it? The script of it. Oh, wait a minute! I see an anomaly. That G don't look right. It don't look the same as the.
Why can't I get that thing up there right?
That G don't look the same, man. Something ain't right. Did you lose the tail off the G on your name? Look at your name.
Why can't I get that thing up there in that screen right? Jiminy Christmas. Here. There.
Yeah, you're missing.
It came out. Yeah, that looks like the G came out.
Yeah, you're missing the tail of the G. You could just sew that with some needle and thread with some white thread.
Gone, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's 50 years old. I mean, well, this mental illness is driving me crazy here today.
Well,
for me, it's not a drive. It's just a short putt. Yeah, the G is gone. Yeah.
And then you got, looks like you had to sew up the arm underneath the arm.
Yeah. Like I said, probably did. Like I said, that blue jacket I sold, the arm was ripped out of it.
You know, if you, Craig, if you got if you got Alan's car fixed, right, and then you wore that robe and you put on that one of those hats you got, you could be a bigaboo going downtown in that freaking car, man.
Oh, God.
Which brings me to, we got monetized when we changed it to Bigaboo. So it
Bigaboo, yeah.
It was big. It was the J that was getting us. So,
yeah.
And if it weren't for that guy, I forget who it was in the comments.
Jigger fishing. We say jigger fishing.
Well, you're adding a to the end of it.
Jigger.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We might not get monetized for that right there. We'll see.
They're sensitive, ain't they?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe all of these people that are complaining about the new president saving them tons of money. Why would you complain when they found out that there's billions of dollars of fraud and waste in Social Security, and you're bitching about it? You're bitching that you're stopping it, and then you're bitching about stopping the wall or starting the wall back up. Well, I don't understand, and it's just if you are not for Trump, you're just an idiot, in my opinion. I don't get it.
You had the figures on how many people were 150 to 200 years old.
No, 150 to 159 is the age that they say people are still alive, and they're paying out checks to people that are supposedly 150 to 159 years old.
How many decades have they been paying?
There's 1,345,000 people that are 150 to 159 years old. There's 879 people that are between 200 and 209 years old. There's 2 people that are between 240 and 249 years old, and there's 1 person living that's 360 years old that's getting paid. And you're out there.
That somebody is intentionally overlooking that person. That's ridiculous. I heard that a lot of these people, they don't have them in computer files, so you can run a computer through there and find them real quick. They got these people in filing cabinets in locked up rooms somewhere, so they can't audit. They can't find them or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think that's more of an insurrection than what they call an insurrection.
Yeah.
Whoever's managing that Social Security is definitely a crook.
Well, if you don't know that the election that 2020 was stolen, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You're an idiot, you know.
Yeah, you're an idiot if you think Biden was a good president. You're a flaming idiot.
You know, for 4 years they said he was right on top of it. He's the smartest man I know. He's a genius.
I'm just glad that there's the majority of the population has got some sense. I'm just
I don't know
glad
about the majority. That they say there's a lot of people waking up, but there's
they voted. It was too big to rig, so they voted. So the majority won. So the majority is not incompetent, you know.
Well, they say 70% of the people are in favor of Trump. So, what do you say?
Well, that other 30% are a bunch of wackos, man. Yeah, and then I'm sure there's some people that are just oblivious. You know, there's a lot of them that probably don't even care, you know. But I'm glad that it turned out the way it did, but I'm still waiting on something to happen to try to attack Mr. T somehow and derail his administration. It's coming. Something's coming. They got something brewing.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, they got something brewing. And just like I predicted the airplane crashes, that, you know, there was going to be a whole run on airplane crashes, and you'll see something's going to happen. Now, I don't want it to happen, but
I heard something about that. They said that pilot, that helicopter pilot, that she wasn't in charge of that plane. They said somebody took remote control of that plane and ran in, or that helicopter and ran into that plane. They took remote control of that helicopter and ran into that plane.
Yeah, I did hear something about that, but you'll never know. Just like, and I am a little upset with Trump about the frickin', he's hiding some shit about those drones and those orbs. He's not coming clean on that. I'm a little bit pissed off about that. And I'm pissed off about the fact about these chemtrails and shit that They're hiding that. Still hiding a bunch of shit. He has to know about it. So, but I'd
Well,
rather
he's only been president for a month.
Well, yeah, but
Today's
that's a
the
big,
20th. It was 1 month today.
yeah, but that's a big
Yesterday.
thing, Craig, to be hiding some shit like that,
Well,
man.
yeah.
You know,
But
there's
they
something
can't
going
hide that.
on.
They can't hide these planes. Those planes, they can't hide them anymore. And who they're registered into and what they're doing, they can't hide that anymore.
Well, they're hiding the chemtrail shit.
Well,
They're still spraying us. They're still feeding us poison. I
well,
mean,
they're
I
feeding
know.
us poison, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and they're
Everybody's
still
getting cancer.
vaccinating people too.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that's the other thing. Trump thinks that vaccine's good. I've heard him say, you know, that vaccine saved a lot of people. I don't know, man. See, I don't totally agree with Trump on everything. People think I agree with everything. No, I don't agree with him on
That
everything.
stupid bastard eats McDonald's. That's a dumb son of a bitch if you eat that goddamn McDonald's shit.
I mean, but you know, if I had to choose, it's a no-brainer. You know, if you're going to choose between him and Biden, I mean, you got to be a
Or
full-on
Kamala. God,
maroon.
look at the difference between when Trump, man, he gets on there and he talks to the press for 4 hours. Man, them other people, it ain't even close. Press conferences, when
He
Trump does
couldn't.
them, he just takes the questions and he answers them. And the same with JD Vance. He does, he answers every question.
But if they let me ask some questions, like they said, anybody who has press credentials and who reports anything having to do with what's going on in Washington is invited to apply to come and ask questions. So I think the Stone Roadie show needs to show up there, man, and ask some questions. And the first thing I'll ask him is I'll go, "Hey man, what's up with the frickin' drones? I think you're hiding something there, Mr. T. And also, I want to know why you're letting them spray these damn chemtrails still and poisoning us and shit." But they won't. Nobody ask those questions because they won't
Well, they
let them.
said the drones were all man flown. I mean, they were all, they know
Why?
where they came from,
But
but
why? Why were they doing it?
well, I don't know. Yeah,
See, there you have it.
they said they were looking for dirty bombs. That one dirty bomb. They said they were. I don't know. I don't know nothing.
They're hiding something with that shit, man. They're hiding that shit.
Well, they've been hiding stuff for years and decades and centuries.
So even Trump, you know, is
They're
hiding
hiding
some
the
shit.
giants. That's why all those statues, they got all their hands are all cut off because all those statues had 6 fingers.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know that.
the Anunnakis have 6 fingers. That's why they cut all their hands off of those statues because they all had 6 fingers. All those
Oh, okay.
statues have their hands cut off. All those statues have their noses cut off and their hands cut off. There's reasons. I don't know why. I've heard. I don't know.
Okay, well, we got our normal comments that we can go through. You got anything you want to talk about in particular, Craig? Like any kind of donation stuff or
No, there's no donations. No,
no?
no.
Yeah.
Robert said that Randall got his check from him.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have
And me.
about 20 comments and questions here that we can go over like we normally do.
I had to
And
take my car and get it e-check today. I had an oxygen sensor that was bad. It was throwing my light on. I had to get my uh, safety inspection or whatever e-check they call it, and
oh, you guys have a inspection in
an
Ohio?
e-check. Yeah, yeah, you
Oh,
got,
really?
yeah, yeah, emissions testing. Yeah, yeah. If your check engine light comes on, you gotta get that taken care of. I had an oxygen sensor that was bad, and it cost me $400 to get that light off.
I knew this guy. He was a mechanic, and they kept bringing this car in and saying, "Man, that light keeps coming on." And he said he got so sick of it, he busted the light.
Well, they hook the machine up to it. They can tell.
Yeah, they don't do that in Florida. You don't have any emissions check here yet.
I
Which,
had the oil changed, and I said, "Why's my check engine light on?" And they checked it, and they said, "Every cylinder you have is misfiring." And I took it to get it fixed, and the guy said, "You don't have no cylinders misfiring. It's just this oxygen sensor." And he changed that, and that's all he did. Yeah.
yeah, and it probably only cost like $40.
Well, whatever. I don't know.
You
He
just
had it for 2
unscrew
days.
it, and
I told them all, I says, "Man, my next car's going to have an ashtray in it. That means it's going to be at least 30 years old. And it won't have none of these damn oxygen sensors or nothing."
yeah. Well, you got one out there in the yard you can use, and once you get it running,
Yeah.
put that robe on and that cowboy hat, go down to town, and say, "I'm gonna get my hair did."
I'm just looking for a car. I got an engine. I got a new engine. I got that 283 that come out of the coop. I'll put that in there.
Yeah, that engine might run, man. It might
Oh,
work.
that's a good engine.
We
Yeah.
might get lucky. We might get lucky on that. But there's somebody in here. I think it was Jeff. He says Craig don't seem too enthusiastic about getting that car running. He says Craig does not seem to be too enthused about Alan's car.
It's pretty much toast as far as I'm concerned, man. That thing's been sitting back there. I imagine it's looks pretty nasty underneath, I imagine.
Well, I've seen these YouTube channels where those guys go out. I've seen them look a hell of a lot worse than your car, and they get them running and put them on the road. Yeah, there's and I think it's worth a shot, man. You never know, man. You never know. That thing might fire right up. Who knows? Get that thing on the road and who was it? Let me see. I think it was Jeff.
I got a hell of a lot more things that are more important to me to get done than that. I'll just tell you that.
If somebody says what you need to do is you need to get that car running and let Craig drive it and let Griff sit in the passenger seat and Griff stomp the gas and hold it down on Craig's foot, just like old times. Yeah, I think I would do that. I would think I would probably have to do that. Just for out of respect for Alan.
That car was
Anyway,
pretty fast. That car was pretty fast. It has a quadrajet 4-barrel lamp. When you kick it down, it goes boom. Yeah.
Didn't you put a trailer hitch on it?
No, that's front wheel drive. Those aren't very front wheel drive cars aren't very good.
Oh, that's got a transverse engine in it?
That's front wheel drive. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. What year is it again? What year is that car?
81. All those Tornadoes were front wheel drive, as far as I know.
Damn, 81. That's the same year as the as Bad Company 2, or it was 80. No, Bad Company's 2 is 80, and the engine's 78. The outboard on it 78. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack into these comments here. And Angela Lynyrd, we were talking about cancer, and she said in 2016 she was diagnosed with lung cancer, and now she's free and clear as of 2024, cancer free. She says,
Good
I
for
have a
you.
lot of things to do, praise God. And, that's great, Angelo, that you were able to kick that,
Yeah,
Um, that's a rough one,
scary
man.
situation, man, to be told you got the big C. Yeah. Like
Especially
Gene.
like,
It's like
yeah.
Gene, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be pissed off if they told me that I had it, and then 2 months later they go, "Oh, sorry that we were
I
wrong."
don't know. I think I wouldn't be pissed off. I'd be happy I didn't have it. I'd be going, I don't care.
Yeah,
I
can
just,
you imagine what you go through for 2 months, so thinking you had that shit, man? You go counting your days, man. Shit.
yeah. Well, I think the payoff was when
Because
they were
that
wrong.
radiation, man, that radiation will catch up to you. It might cure you for a minute, but man, it'll come up and bite you in the ass. Everybody I know that's ever had radiation has bit them in the ass eventually.
Yeah, and then Susan McMaster, she says, I haven't had a microwave oven in 20 years. I got rid of it, and I got rid of all my Teflon pans a year ago because, and I heard this too, Susan, about if you have a bird and you cooking with Teflon, that
Hmm.
the gases from that Teflon will kill a bird.
Yeah, if you don't have anything in a Teflon pan and leave it on, and there's nothing in the pan, yeah, the fumes from that Teflon will kill a bird. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's usually what they took in the coal mines to see if you could survive in the coal mines was a canary. They're
Yeah.
taking the canary. If the canary died, then you weren't fit for working in the coal mine.
And any kind of plastic, man, you put shit in. If you take your lunch and put it in a baggie, that baggie's got plastic in it. You know, like I was talking about, you got bugs on your skin. You can't see them, but they're there. It's just like those plastic particles. They're in that plastic bag. You can't see them, but they're there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Well, they've already said that especially if you put it in the microwave and heat it up, then it's really
There's
going to
all
go
kinds of
crazy.
stuff that your eyes aren't able to see. There's light, there's certain light that you can't see. Your eyes aren't able to see everything that's out there, So things can be in another dimension right in front of you and you can't see it.
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah,
That's like
there's a.
somebody could be in another dimension looking right at you and you can't see them.
Huh.
I guess.
And we have a Skynyrd question, Paula Sullivan. How did Ronnie meet Leon? Was he a childhood friend? And
Yeah, as far as
where
I
did
know,
Leon come from?
he was a West Sider.
Well, Leon used to play in Joe Crimp's band. Um, those guys were Joe Crimp and Leon were friends ever since they were like little kids. And I would say probably that all of those guys that they were into playing music and stuff was a small group of people that everybody knew everybody. They were probably like, well, doesn't that Leon Wilkerson play bass? Yeah, go get him. And yeah, they all hung around and knew each other. And but Leon grew up there in the west side over there, and that's where he came from. And old Joe Crimp knew him really well. As a matter of fact, I think Leon quit the band. Joe's probably told me this 5 times, and I still can't remember exactly. But Leon was hired, I think, by some other band, and they had to get somebody to replace Leon. And then from that band, they went into Skynyrd. But but yeah, Leon, man, he was a hell of a bass player. Everybody was out after they were after everybody was after him. But I imagine when they needed the bass player, they knew where to go.
It's
So
like Kevin Elson right there. Kevin Elson there, Skinner's sound guy. He was in bands with Jeff Carlisi. I think called the Red Rooster or the Rooster.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
what
he played
did
organ.
he played organ?
Kevin did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was in a band. I think he was in a band with Jeff Carlisi. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, and that was Ronnie who said that'd be cool if you could get Alan's car running and Craig could drive and Griff could stomp the pedal for old times. Yeah, I didn't think of that, but yeah, man, if we ever get that far, I'm definitely going to try that. We're definitely want to try that. Um, and then John Rafferty, he doesn't think that there's a brownie that anybody could make a brownie that would bring him down. Well, I'm gonna tell you something there, Mister Rafferty. I guarantee you, if you took a half of one of those gummies that Craig gave me, you wouldn't even be able to walk.
Oh, I ate three of them.
Well, yeah, but you got a lot of
But those
THC in you.
brownies that I ate with that keef in them, of
Oh
course I
yeah,
ate. God, I don't know. I ate a half a dozen of them damn things. Yeah.
but you know that damn gummy, man, that was nasty. That was just nasty. I mean, I actually was crawling on the floor. I was crawling around and puking and crawling, and I was just once I was able to crawl up to the damn spigot in the bathtub and get a little drink of water, I knew I was going to make it because I was living by myself. And that was one of the reasons I got the hell out of where I was living, and I wanted to move closer to family. That way, it wouldn't take them as long to find me. But then when I moved here, I realized it's not any different. I'd still be dead a week before they find me because they don't check on me here either. So I don't know why I moved. I don't know why I moved closer to family because it's even worse over here. I think I saw them more whenever those grandkids, man, they don't give a damn unless it's Christmas or birthday. That's when they want to. That's when they want to talk to you. Whenever it's time to get their presents.
You said you didn't intend on living in that house very long anyway. You just bought it to fix it
No,
up.
I bought it to flip, but I was gonna try out this, coming back into the old place I grew up, and hell, I think I'm gonna frickin' get the hell out of here, man. I ain't feeling the love. Ain't feeling the love. But when you get old, nobody gives a damn about you anymore anyway. So
Yeah, tell me about it.
the only time they call you is when they need something.
Wait till you get to be my age.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
old.
you got all those jars you can dig up out in the yard and stuff, man. You got plenty of
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Gene says you got a map where all those jars are buried.
Well, I've been going through them too. I don't know how normal people get by without having all them jars of money in their backyard. God, I'm going through them like nobody's business there lately.
Yeah. And Jeff says Carrot Top performs in Las Vegas and just renewed his contract um, till I think 2020. And he's been in Vegas for 20 years. Also, Kent Griffith sent me an email, and he's living. Kent has two places. He's got a place, his mother's place up in Jacksonville, and then he's got a place in Maitland. And he said that Carrot Top has a house on the chain of lakes, the Maitland chain of lakes, and Kent says he passes him in the canal all the time with his buddies, and they're out
Huh.
water skiing. They're out there water skiing all the time in the chain of lakes. Yeah, he says he's probably doing some steroids because he says he looks like he's all cut and He looks like RFK, man. He's all pumped up and yeah, old Carrot Top, man. He's a bodybuilder. You knew that, right, Craig?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's 60 years old too. I believe he is. But like I was saying, my buddy's wife went to school with him, and if you can get in touch with him, and we could get him on here, that'd be cool. But I don't know. You don't have. It's not like you got his phone number. But Kent, man, if you run into him,
I think he would remember me if I
yeah,
could get a hold of him. I think he would remember me.
yeah, Kent, man, say, hey, do you remember Craig Reed? He wants you to come on the Stone Roadie show. He'd probably say, do what?
Yeah,
Then
never
Tuxedo
know.
Manor had about 6 questions, but I only took 3 of them because we can't let you capitalize on the whole thing here. But I gave you 3 of them. See here, he wants to know: did the band ever play? You guys ever play a show with Bob Dylan, Craig, and meet Bob Dylan?
No.
No, Skinner never played with Bob Dylan.
Mm-mm.
No. Back in the day when Skynyrd played with Montrose, you remember playing with Montrose?
Yeah.
Do you remember meeting and hanging out with Sammy Hagar?
No.
No?
No.
That was when he was like really young, the Red Rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing shows with Montrose, but I don't really remember.
But Sammy Hagar, he's like, I think about 80, man. He's like 6 years older than you, Craig.
Really?
Yeah,
He still looks good.
yeah, he still looks pretty good.
Ronnie Montrose. Yeah, that's who he was.
And then Ed King had a forum, and he talked about a guy in that forum one time. Ronnie was looking for this guy, and he thought he was in Ed's room, and he kicked the door in and knocked the whole frame out of the wall, and he threw the damn frame and the door in the bathroom. He says, "Do you remember that?" Yes, do you remember that when Ronnie was looking for some dude and he thought he was in Ed's room and he kicked the door in and ripped the door out of the wall and threw it in the bathroom? That was in one of Ed was telling the story in a forum.
Mm-mm.
No, don't remember that. There's probably all kinds of shit like that going on,
I don't remember that.
Then Linda LaCava, the left-wing loon Linda LaCava, says she loves Seinfeld, but she sure don't love the Orange Man, and wonders if we have this the same taste of music. Well, if you like Skynyrd, I like Skynyrd. I probably like all the same bands. If it's Southern rock or I don't know what age group, you're probably the same. Because I think you said you were. I forget how old you said you were when the plane crashed, but it's in here somewhere. But yeah, I imagine we like the same kind of music. I mean, you can still hate Trump and still like the same kind of music as me, I guess.
If you like that crap they called music that was in the intermission for the Super Bowl, that bigaboo shit.
Oh yeah,
we don't have the same taste of music.
That
shit was awful. I mean,
she don't like that, I'm sure.
I saw Ozzy. Ozzy was watching the Super Bowl. He's going.
Oh, he was?
Ozzy. I saw Ozzy watching the halftime. He's like, "What the hell?" Yeah.
Ozzy's about
anybody. All of them people talk. Where'd they learn how to talk?
I never watched that.
The only thing you can understand, one guy was saying the only thing I could understand was M and F, MF and the N word, and that's all they say.
Yeah.
you know. And,
Yeah. Oh,
I
they
don't
say
know.
more than that. They say all kinds of nasty stuff, about the booty and they talk all
Well, you
about,
can't understand
they
them.
degrade women in rap music worse than anything I've ever seen, and these young girls, they listen to that shit, man, and they degrade the hell out of women in that rap music, but nobody says a word about that. Yeah, they don't say a word about that.
Well, it wouldn't be politically correct, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Tammy Power says that there's floods in eastern Kentucky, and her cousin's home was flooded. Do you see out there in Chicago where they flooded downtown Chicago and it froze? It's like about 4 feet of water and it froze. And nobody knows where the water came from. There's some crazy stuff going on, man. It's
It
just
snowed. It snowed 1 inch here in Ohio, and it snowed 10 inches in New Orleans.
yeah, it's crazy crap going on
That's
here, man.
yeah.
Um, Coreyman, Craig, did you and Alan ever go to the Pick and Save buffet on Blanding and 103rd back in the day?
No,
No?
no. I don't remember ever being at the Pick and Save. I never seen that. But the Pick and Save was a damn grocery
I thought that was a
store.
grocery store. He said it's a buffet.
No, uh-uh.
And then Jeff says that we got 8 divorces between us. Nah, we got 9. I think. Yeah, you miscounted. And I ain't going to
Yeah,
tell you who's got what. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
got
we
5. Yeah,
so do the math.
yeah. So
Yeah.
right there says that I've got mental illness. Anybody that's been married 5 times definitely has mental illness.
Well, I have
That was after the plane crash. You know, I was
I have a
only
high
one.
degree of education in women. I have a doctrine. I have a doctorate in women. Yeah. I can almost tell you, man. I can almost tell you anything you want to know, but I won't. I'm like Manson. I could have your head in a box tomorrow, but I won't. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, it's not. I'm not proud of it, man. I'm not proud of it. But the whole thing, if I explained it, it would make sense because it's not as bad as it sounds.
I think it's cooler than being with one woman forever. You know, I
Well,
wouldn't. You know, I'd rather be with 5 different ones than one since high school. I mean,
Julio Iglesias sang
I,
about it. All the girls I loved before, and Willie Nelson sang about it.
I mean, I was married right out of high school. I wouldn't have wanted to be with the same woman all those years. God, you know, no variety is the spice of life. Hell, you know.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for, having I mean, if you have a woman and you care about her, you don't want to, there's the guys and couples have been together for 50 years and they just loved their marriage. We're just messed up, Craig.
Yeah.
We got problems, man.
Well,
We
I
got
never wanted
problems.
to leave any of mine. I never wanted to get a divorce. They all left me.
Yeah, same thing here. I don't ever remember.
You know,
Yeah,
I never wanted a divorce. They all left
well,
me.
who wants to give away half their shit? I don't want to give away half my shit, but that's what happened.
No, the fourth one, I left I left that one. I got the hell out of Florida. I got the hell out of there. The last time she called the police on me, I got the hell out of Florida. That was 92.
It's
That,
just amazing
that's when I
how,
left. That's when I left Florida. Get the
but
hell away from
when they
her.
don't like you anymore, I tell you, when they don't like you anymore, man, it's kind of weird how you went from, they really cared about you and then all of a sudden they don't like you anymore. But It's just like the old saying, too many people can't be wrong, Craig. you know, those 5 wives of yours can't all be wrong. Well, how many times? How many times were your ex-wives married after you? Are there any of them get remarried after you?
This. Well, God, yeah. Chad's mother, she's been married almost as many times as I have. And my second one, she got married a couple of times after. The third one, I don't know. She got married at least once. And
then there's the one in Bradenton, is it?
Yeah, she got married a couple of times after me.
Yeah. She just lives like an hour from me.
Yeah, she's cool.
Or an hour and a half. Yeah. Is she still watching the podcast? You heard from her?
I think so. I haven't talked to her in, I don't know, about a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've really talked to her since you guys had that big storm down there, and I called her, and
she lost a car in that, didn't she?
She's lost a couple of cars. Yeah. Yeah, she left. That last one was so bad. She just went to a hotel. She just said, yeah, she went back home, and yeah, everything wasn't too bad, I guess. She lost a car.
Donald Johnson says, I remember Ponderosa and Bonanza. Yeah, I remember Bonanza too. Yeah, they were basically the same. Ponderosa and Bonanza, they were actually competitors. Because we had a Ponderosa, and I think the Ponderosa, either the Bonanza turned into the Ponderosa or the Ponderosa turned into the Bonanza. There, wherever I lived, and I can't remember which way it was. But they were both the same kind of shitty steak.
Well, that Ponderosa and Bonanza, that's awful similar to start with. It's the same scenario.
Yeah, well, I mean, right. And but yeah, I can't. We didn't have a Ponderosa and a Bonanza. I think it went from the Ponderosa to the Bonanza, and then there was a Quincy's. Remember Quincy's?
Quincy's, yeah.
Yeah, with a big fat yeast roll. The last time I went into a Quincy's, I walked in there and it smelled like a daycare in there, and I was like, man, it stinks in here. And I got to hell. It smelled like pee and snot. I couldn't go back in there. Yeah, it was nasty. Linda LaCava, she goes, how are you guys feeling about your man Trump now? What was something happened that there must be people that think Trump, is doing a crappy job, and all of us are regretting our choice. That's not happening. Everybody loves the job he's doing, man. Everybody is just ecstatic. You can't look back ever and see a president that said he was going to do X, Y, and Z and did X, Y, and Z. He's doing everything he said he would. So why would we feel bad about Mr. T now? I like him better now than I did before. I think
he's doing a lot more. God, look at the stuff he's done in a month. My God,
yeah.
He's uncovered so much corruption.
Yeah. Yeah, they tried to throw him in jail. They tried to assassinate him. He's lost $1 billion since he's become involved in politics. He's dropped down. I think
realistically he was worth about $4 billion before he became president. Now he's worth $3 billion. So he lost $1 billion, and and
then Biden has become a billionaire since Since, I mean, all those Democrats, man, they're all freaking making money, and they're trying to figure out where'd they get their money at, you know?
Well, any of them people that only make a couple $100,000 a year are millionaires and haven't written a book. That's how they hide they write books and stuff, and then they try to hide their money. That's why Hunter Biden, he said he was a painter and he was painting. He was selling these paintings for millions of dollars. God almighty, them people are.
I mean, just take a look at Hunter
They're
Biden.
creative. I gotta give them an A for creativity, though.
I mean, they get away with murder, man. They never get in trouble. They never even. I mean, look, they attacked Trump. They prosecuted him and convicted him a felon, and those people are more crooked than Trump ever thought about being. And
I would have been there to that damn insurrection, except I smelled trouble.
Oh, you were going to go?
No, I never. I said when it happened, I said I'd like to go, but I smell trouble. I don't want.
Oh yeah, yeah. They opened up the gates and let those people in there.
Them
so
Democrats are just looking
call insurrection.
Looking to arrest anybody that goes there. I don't want that, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
that's what happened. They caused that, and then they threw all those people in prison without even a trial or nothing. They just they wanted to show people you can't stand up against the government. We'll throw your ass in jail if you want to call us crooks. You call us crooks, we'll throw you in jail forever. And I didn't give you a trial, and that's what happened. And they got away with it.
That's a Nazi regime. That's a Nazi regime right there.
And any of you stupid son of a that can't see it, or God, you're so damn stupid. God.
Craig, do you remember playing in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and staying at the Chattanooga Choo?
Hell yeah, man. I love
and he says, do you remember there was some kind of a crazy pool party there one time?
God, we stayed at the Choo a few times, man. I like.
So you remember the Chattanooga Choo?
Oh yeah, huh? I stayed in the Chattanooga Choo a bunch of times. Yeah, that was a cool place.
What was so great about it?
Well, you stayed in a train.
It was a train.
Yeah,
is it still there?
Your room was a train car. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the Chattanooga.
Oh, shit. I wonder if it's still there. Huh?
Not all of the rooms were train cars, but you could request to stay in the train car. Yeah, it was cool.
Did you stay in the train car?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. That'd be damn.
Cool.
And that was back in
the... I think I stayed in the caboose one time.
That was original Skynyrd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, we stayed there.
Did they have a pool there? That you remember going swimming?
I don't remember that. We stayed there. We stayed there with Rossington. Who was it? It had to have been Rossington Collins. We stayed there, and I remember we went to this guy's house, and he had a Beta. It's the first time I'd seen a Sony Betamax. And he had one. So that had to have been 79 or something like that.
Yeah. But you guys stayed there with the original Skynyrd too, right?
Yeah. I don't really remember. That's I stayed there a bunch of times. But I really remember that time with Washington Collins when we stayed there. I remember going up to what's that mountain? The Lookout Mountain or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go up on the mountain. And this guy lived up there. We were there for a couple of days, and we went, did some cool stuff there, and we were at the Chattanooga Choo. I remember that quite well.
Oh, yeah, great question. But the problem is I forgot I didn't write down who asked it. Sorry about that,
But yeah,
man.
I remember staying there with the original Skynyrd, but I don't think I stayed in the choo-choo train when I was with the original Skynyrd. I think I was in a room.
Oh, yeah, they didn't have it. Did they have the train
They
then?
had the train. I didn't get to stay in the train that time. I stayed in the train car when I went there that time. I remember that. I think I stayed in the actual hotel when I was with the original Skynyrd.
Oh, okay. Then I was trying to Google it, but it didn't want to come up. Then Donald Johnson says, you've discussed the load ins, typically how long it took, but how about on the load out? Was that longer than the load in, or what was the
No, we
difference?
were out. We sometimes we could get out in like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, because you just unhook shit. You don't need to worry about things working. You just tear it down, and you don't have to worry about testing anything, or you just
Yeah,
load it up.
you just
Yeah.
take it down and put it in the cases and roll it in the trunk. Yeah,
Did you ever run into a problem when you were setting things up and something didn't work and you couldn't figure out how to fix it? Well,
uh,
and it was getting close to showtime, and you were going, man, what the hell's the problem? We got this feedback, or this cable don't work.
in Jacksonville they had the radio station would come through the freaking amps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, the freaking radio station, and Joe Osborne uh, wrapped chicken wire around the amp heads, and it stopped them from doing that. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, you turn on the damn amp, and the radio station was coming through the
It's getting
speaker.
feedback. It's picking up the
It
signal.
was picking up the radio because the radio station was real close, and we had to put chicken wire back behind the amp to keep
Oh.
keep the radio from. Yeah, there was a couple of things that, yeah.
And then who was it that was telling us that um, they put up like some kind of a big tarp or something, and it was a military thing, and it was
Oh
it
no,
has
no, no! That was they had that camouflage
yeah, the camouflage.
netting, and it was actual camouflage netting, and the freaking wireless shit wouldn't work.
Yeah, because it was designed to block radio frequencies and
Yeah,
shit.
and they could what the hell's wrong with the damn wireless shit? And somebody said, "Well, where'd you get that fucking camo netting?" And they said, "That's military." Well, that's why.
You had to rip it down, huh?
Yeah, they said,
Where was that
yeah,
at, Craig? Who was it that told us that?
yeah. They thought that. Hey, we got the real
Was
shit, man. We got the real camo because they wanted stuff to
was
be
that
real, you know.
Pops? Was that Pops, or was that who was that told us about that?
It might have been Pops. Might have
Yeah, it
been
might have been
Pops.
Pops.
Yeah. Yeah, that camo, man, and yeah, none of the wireless shit would work, man. That camo netting.
So that was one time that you had a problem, and
Yeah, yeah, that
and
one
then
was kind of.
so there were probably a few little things, but you always got everything up and running before. You never had to cancel
No,
anything,
we
or
never had anything happen to. Because we always
yeah.
had spare, we had spare everything. Everybody had spare amps and spare, we had spare everything. So the equipment was never an issue. The band equipment was never an issue.
Then Linda LaCava says she was 14 when the plane crashed. I was 18, I believe. And she said she was devastated. She says, I love the original Lynyrd Skynyrd and RVZ. I am a woman, but I will tell you, I'm a gay woman, but I will tell you that if Ronnie Van Zant ever looked my way, I probably never would have gave up on men. She says, truth be told, I was lucky to have my share of both. Damn. You're quite the hellraiser there, Linda. Us guys, we don't mind lesbians, man. We don't care about that. We like lesbians. Yeah, we ain't got anything against that. Then Sammy says that when an old person goes missing, that's called a silver alert. So those people over there at the apartment building, if they go wandering around over there, Craig, and they get lost and you see one, that's called a silver alert, man. Yeah.
Does my belly look big?
No, but yesterday or last podcast it did. Go back and look at it, man. It was a big old belly, and that shirt right there don't show it, but the last one, it was almost as bad as that picture you sent me, and you went, "Look, Griff."
I have to go back and see what shirt I had on.
You don't want to wear that again because there was like 2 or 3 people that mentioned you look fat.
I must have had a large shirt on or something.
Yeah. And see, did you know that Steve Martin opened up for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band? I wonder if he open up there, Tom Garrett, did he open up as a comedy act or did he open up playing his banjo?
Probably both. I think both of them were the same routine, the banjo and the
I saw him in 70.
Remember that was his brother that was in
he's got a brother?
Andy Mayberry wasn't.
No, that's not Steve Martin's brother. I don't even think he has. He's got a sister. I don't think he has a brother. You're thinking of Dick Van Dyke and Jerry Van Dyke. Yeah, Jerry Van Dyke played the banjo. But old Dick, he's still kicking, man. He's still doing okay. Jerry died, I think, a couple years ago.
Didn't Andy rescue him at the carnival or something? I don't know. And he was a banjo player.
That was probably Jerry Van Dyke, because Steve Martin wasn't even around then, man.
Oh well, Steve Martin was in The Jerk, and he was playing the banjo. Yeah, he was in The Jerk, and he was in the Sideshow, and he was playing the banjo, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I remember The Jerk, but I don't remember. I know that I think he got his start on the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour is where he got his start, and as a banjo player, and then he broke into comedy. Then Amelin says, I bet Dalton from the pole barn garage could get Alan's car up and running. If any of you guys have connections to, of course we can use Craig's buddy, but Craig probably don't want to spend any money. I don't know. You probably spend a little bit of money, right, Craig, to get that car running? I don't know.
I think I got a couple of jars of money back there in the trunk of that car. I guess I could spend that.
Well, you could just.
No, I'd spend some money to get it running. I don't think it's gonna work though.
We need to get somebody to go evaluate it. Is what we need. We need somebody to go evaluate. And your buddy,
I tried to do that last year, and I couldn't even get in the damn thing. It's rusted shut.
Yeah, well. You just need the right guy out there, and your buddy, he can come evaluate
Warren.
it, and then Warren, and then whenever whenever Warren tells us what we need to do, we'll just do whatever Warren says we need to do. He's the expert. But I damn sure like to see. I mean, you can pop the hood and see if you can spin the fan, and it's probably locked up. But I've seen them unlock those engines, man. They spray, they take all the plugs out, and they put that Marvel mystery oil down in the cylinder, let it soak, and then they put a big frickin' wrench on that harmonic balance and just start bumping it back and forth until the damn thing breaks loose. But if you get it to break loose without busting some rings or then it'll probably run. Sure.
It should have been full of antifreeze, so that shouldn't have been a problem.
Well, those cylinders, if they're not full
I know,
lubricant, yeah. So that concludes all the comments and questions. And I didn't read any of Kimmy's stuff, but she had a few things in there. But darn, Kimmy, I'm sorry about that, man. I feel bad about it. I should have wrote some Kimmy questions down. But we'll catch you next time, Kimmy, because we do miss Kimmy. She ain't around, and she didn't have a whole lot of questions or comments in there. But there was like 125 questions. So, well, yeah, everybody have a good weekend. And, today's Friday, and hide from the boss. You don't want him to come up and say, hey, we need you to work Saturday. So, right around getting off time, go hide. Yeah. Turn your phone off.
Yeah, so I thought we were getting close to the end. That's why I put up my P.O. box. So if all y'all want to send any donations to the Forgotten Survivors, or we're still taking stuff here for Randall for the next couple months while he gets it together before he can get back to work. Send them to the Crook at P.O. Box 442, Reno, Ohio 44232. And until the next time on the Stone Roadie Show, happy trails to you until we meet again. See you later, alligator, at the Wild Crocodile, and we'll call that a wrap. Cut.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep toking until